Something to know about me is I love quotes. I mean, I have an entire thing on my Google Keep where I just write down quotes that I find inspiring or write down quotes that make me actually want to do something. I'll just go through a few of these that I really love. One of the quotes I love is from Albert Einstein, who says, "Compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it." It's a very easy concept to understand when you understand debt and investments. And you understand what you don't do versus what you do. Anyway, another quote I love is from a guy named Bertrand Russell, but I heard it from Warren Buffett, which is basically, "The chains of habit are too light to be felt until they are too heavy to be broken." I love that quote. Another one I really love is, "Appreciate your position while plotting your promotion." That one is from a guy named Jalen Rose from a podcast I listen to, which is Jalen and Jacoby. And that one quote got me to focus on the right things when I worked at the plant in order to get me to where I am now. It's so succinct and so good. Another quote I love is, "Discipline equals freedom." That's by Jocko Willink. That one is a weird one because they're like, discipline and freedom, that doesn't seem to go together. But when you start studying it in your life, when you start understanding that when I'm disciplined with my money, when I'm disciplined with my physical health, when I'm disciplined with the things that I eat, when I'm disciplined with anything, I actually have more freedom from everything determining how I will be. It's a great quote. I love that one. Another one I love is, I don't know who said this one, but it says, "Act like you live forever, plan like you won't." Act like you live forever, but plan like you won't. I love it. I love it so much. Another quote that I love is one that I came up with for myself because I started seeing certain aspects in my life as I was learning more about investing, as I was trying to make more money, as I was doing all these things. I needed something to keep me on the right path. And the quote is one that you hear me say every single podcast, every single YouTube video, and you see it in every single one of my social handles, which is simply, "Generosity is greater than greed." Because it's very easy once you get on this path of, I'm trying to make more money, I'm trying to do better, I'm trying to increase myself, I'm trying to do all this stuff. It's very easy for us to get very greedy, to want more and more and more and more, and we lose ourselves. So that quote was one that just, I don't know, the Holy Spirit inspired it on me and I just put it down on paper. Generosity is greater than greed. Actually, the quote goes, "Generosity is always greater than greed." These are all various quotes that I love. I love saying them. I love thinking about them. They've helped me in various times in my life to make sure that I'm on the right path. But the main reason that I love quotes so much is because it gives you a complex ideas in a succinct manner. It cuts through all the minutia. It cuts through all the BS. It cuts through all the noise and points directly to what I need to be focused on. If we go back to the quote on chains of habit are too light to be felt until they're too heavy to be broken, it's just teaching me like, yo, man, be careful the things that you are focused on. Be careful of the habits that you are building, because before you know it, you're in a hole and it's hard for you to get out of that hole. I love that quote. Discipline equals freedom. I love that one because it's basically saying like, yo, if you discipline yourself, you will free yourself. You will set yourself free. The quote from Jalen and Jacoby where he says, "Appreciate your position while plotting your promotion," is very simple. All he's sharing is simply saying, yo, whatever it is that you're doing, even if you don't like it, even if you hate your job right now, find a reason to enjoy it. The reason why you find a reason to enjoy it is because when you enjoy something, you're going to work a little bit harder at it. You're going to put a little bit more effort at it. And when I worked at the plant, I hated that job. But once my mentality switched to appreciating where I was currently, I started looking for ways that I could better myself, improve myself, find ways that I could help other people around me. And then at the same time, though, I was plotting my promotion. I was thinking of, okay, what jobs can I continue to apply to? How will this job that I'm doing right now put me in a better position for the job that I want tomorrow? But you see, saying all of that is a lot more difficult than sharing just that simple nugget of wisdom of appreciate your position while plotting your promotion. I love the way Morgan Housel puts it in his blog. He says, "If you're going to act on a problem that is monstrously complex and uncertain, the stripped down rules of thumbs response is not only good enough, it can be superior to tripping over yourself in the pursuit of something that appears marginally more accurate." I think one of the problems that we've gotten to in this day and age is because we have so much information and we have so much data, we regularly get lost in the minutia. We regularly are looking for all the tiny little reasons why we can't do something rather than making the first move based off of, you know what, let me just try and see what happens. Regularly, I'll talk to people about their financial situations. And one thing I figured out for most people is everybody is looking for a complicated structure to figure out why they're not able to save money or invest money or pay off their debt. Everybody is trying to find some complicated thing to do with their money to give them the best returns. Or everybody's looking for a complicated tax structure to avoid taxes. Everybody's looking for something fancy to try and figure out where it is. And I was sitting down and I was like, the simple answer to your problem is very simple. It's in one quote. Live on less than you make, invest and save the rest. It's a very simple quote. It's a very simple thing. In that, there's a lot of details that go into it, yes. However, it's a very simple thing. Start from there. Do you live on less than you make? Do you save your money? How are you investing your money? Are you investing in simple manners? Or are you looking for the next 1000x stock? One thing I figured out very quickly is people don't want simple solutions, or they don't want the simple answer, because when you have the simple answer, it forces you to act. When somebody tells you, oh, you want to pay off your debt or you want to increase your credit score? Oh, all you need to do is make sure you pay off your debt on time every single month. Make sure you're not using all of your credit score. And that's basically all you need to do. Don't carry any loan balances and you're going to be good. Everybody's like, nah, bro, that's too complicated. That's too complicated. Like, that's too simple. My bad. I said complicated. That's too simple. Like, there's no way it's that simple that all I need to do is pay off my credit card on time. Nah, I got to do something else. There's got to be something more fancy out there for me to do. And of course, they go and buy all these services that just take their money and tell them the exact same thing that, yo, just pay off your debt on time. And it's like, yo, I just gave you free advice. Maybe I should start charging people. That's when they'll actually listen to the advice that I give them. Maybe that's what I'm getting to. But the point is, it's not for us to look for complex things. Like for a lot of people, when I talk about, oh, just invest dollar cost average into the total market index fund, make sure that your fees are low, and over time, you'll be able to build wealth. Focus more on trying to increase your income rather than focusing on trying to get your best investment options out there, and you'll be fine. People are like, nah. I can be the next Warren Buffett. Everybody wants the complicated hedging strategy, all these stuff. And it's like, what does that benefit you though? What is the benefit of you turning over all this rock, spending all this time when the solution is right there in front of you? There's something that I heard from, I heard another quote. Again, see, I love quotes. Another quote I heard is, I don't know who I heard it from, but I think it was originally from Thomas Edison, who said, a lot of us miss out on opportunities because it comes dressed in overalls and he looks like work. And that's the thing about simple solutions. Simple solutions are hard, extremely difficult. They're simple, but they're difficult to implement. On the other hand, complex solutions look like, yo, if I do this complicated thing, boom, everything's just going to magically work. And so a lot of us just skip out on it. I mean, when we go back to the quote of live on less than you make, you have to go through and figure out, what am I spending my money on? It's a lot easier for me to just continue spending money any which way that I want to. Save. How do I save my money? How do I automate and make sure that my money is going to the right places? Invest in. How do I make sure that I'm not just buying all this random stuff, but I'm actually focused on the long-term goals? And then in investing, the hardest part of investing is literally if the market goes down like it is right now, I'm not going to freak out. I'm just going to ride along the wave. It's for us to not look for complicated answers to a lot of our solutions. Now, there will be a day when your life is going to be a lot more complicated, but you will know when that is. You will know when that is, because the key thing that happens when you have a simple solution is it gets you started. It allows you to start thinking about solutions. I'll refer back to this Morgan Housel blog. Another thing that he said that was so good, he said, another is realizing that using rules of thumb frees up time compared to digging into complex solutions. And that time can be spent learning about even more helpful rules of thumb. Munger, again, how did Berkshire's track record happen? If you are an observer, you would see that Warren did most of it sitting on his ass and reading. The key is that he's had the time to sit on his ass and read because he hasn't been bogged down by trying to control the minute details of his strategy. Rules of thumb give you time to learn, and learning gives you rules of thumb. Most important is accepting that when you're dealing with uncertainty and complexity, simple ideas are not dumbed down ideas. There are often complex solutions gift wrapped for you in a way that makes their application practical and sustainable. The beautiful thing is when you have complex problems, like you're trying to figure out what the future will look like for your money, or you're trying to figure out how to get your money under control, having rules of thumbs get you started. You ain't got to get everything perfect, but it gets you started and it allows you to continue to learn it. So I'll just close this out by saying, don't look for the complicated things. Don't look for the TikTok that shows you how to create a weird S-corp structure. If you're doing a side hustle, all you need to figure out for your side hustle is, how am I going to make more money with this side hustle? How can I make twice what I made last month? That's all you need to figure out if you have a side hustle. It's not time for you to think about, oh, I need an S-corp, or do I need an S-corp, or do I need an LLC? No. Just make the money. Go make the money. If you're investing, just invest in a low-cost index fund or a target date index fund. Don't worry about all this other stuff. Focus more on, what is my savings rate? How much money can I put towards this thing? What can I do to increase my income? Focus on that. If you have a credit card and you're trying to pay it off, focus on how much can you pay every single month. If you're trying to increase your credit score, focus on paying off your credit cards, paying your bills on time, making sure you're not using all of the credit on your credit cards. These are simple solutions that if we can understand this, only then can you get into other things. But that's all I got for y'all. Please do not continue to search for complicated answers to some of your simple questions. But anyway, that's all I got for y'all. I hope y'all learned one, maybe two things out of this entire thing. And if you did, share this with one person that you love, one person that you hate, and one person you're just kind of like about. And by that time, you'd have shared it with every single person that you know. It's been your boy Kelechi. I'm going to catch you up on the next one. Remember, generosity is always greater than greed. Peace.